celebrating a super 2018, and we're recognizing the heroes who made it possible. We're also going to learn about what fantastic things are coming up in 2019 and the folks who will lead us into the future. I'd like to introduce Madison Heights Mayor Brian Hartwell to let us know what's going on in Madison Heights.
Good morning. We also have to recognize 43rd District Court Judge Chuck Getter. Chuck, will you say hello? Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us at the State of the City address for Madison Heights as we celebrate what we did in 2018 and we look forward to 2019. I want to thank all the elected officials and all of the guests and my mother sitting in the back row for coming today. I'm proud to say that thanks to the commitment of all of you and all the people of Madison Heights, that the state of our city is strong. The strength of Madison Heights is a result of all the hard work of our city council, administration, and dedicated employees that work for Madison Heights. Please join me in collectively recognizing the city council members who are here. Mayor Pro Tem Mark Bliss, Marjorie Scott, Bob Corbett, Doc Evans, Dave Soltis, and Councilor Rosalind Grafstein. Very important factors to why Madison Heights is a well-managed city are the leaders of our departments, and I have the privilege of introducing them today. DPS Director Joe Vitale Jr., Chief of Police Corey Haynes, Fire Chief Greg Lolito and Fire Marshal Paul Belletti, Library Director Rosalind Yerman, our City Clerk Cheryl Prince, HR Director Amy Mishak, Economic Supervisor Linda Williams. And with us today are the City Attorneys Jeffrey Sherman and Nick Rachowski. Joining us in the City Administration just this month is our new Finance Director and Treasurer Linda Kunith. Last but not least is the new City Manager for the City of Madison Heights, Melissa Marsh. Melissa was hired by City Council after a nationwide search. Actually, it was an international search. But Melissa is no stranger to Madison Heights. She served our residents for 13 years before taking this job. And when we asked her to step up, she rose to the challenge. For the first time in years, morale at City Hall is off the chart. And that's thanks to Melissa's cooperative approach with our 150 full-time employees and 150 part-time employees. Melissa interacts with the public with such grace, confidence, and sincerity unseen by other city managers that I really believe Melissa has made City Hall a more welcoming and accessible institution. But also important, Melissa has designed a new strategic planning process, a blueprint for our future that allows us to make fiscally smart decisions. Over the next 3 to 5 years, under Melissa's guidance, you're going to see this strategic plan come to life with the focus on 5 areas: economic development, public safety, quality of life, infrastructure, and financial sustainability. The 5 pillars of progress. So please join me again in thanking City Manager Melissa Marsh for taking the job. And because this is a Chamber of Commerce event, let's start off with some investment numbers in Madison Heights. The first number is $18.5 million. $18.5 million. That's the amount that 144 companies invested in Madison Heights last year, setting an annual record for business activity in our city. I want to break that down a little further, what $18.5 million in total investment means. That investment meant 1,800 new or retained jobs in Madison Heights. It meant a strengthening and an expansion of our larger international and American companies, including major projects at the big companies Tigris, Brasco, Design Fabrication, and AMS Steel. It also means that the entrepreneurial spirit in Madison Heights is alive and strong, with an all-time annual record of small business startups, including a small new salon called Amore Beautiful You in our downtown district, and of all things, 4 nutrition businesses that opened up just in the last quarter alone. I want to share a few examples in detail of the companies responsible for helping Madison Heights achieve such a super year. In our industrial sector, home to 300 manufacturing businesses, 3 large companies relocated their headquarters from another city to Madison Heights. Shelving Inc., where we're enjoying this event today, used to be headquartered in Auburn Hills a year ago. After company leaders surveyed what other cities had to offer, they chose to move their headquarters to Madison Heights, bringing 40 jobs and investing $1.8 million to turn this dusty old machine shop into the productive space we see today. Our city's new policy to be a development-ready community was the key to closing this deal. Please, will you help me thanking Shelving Inc.? Another company to move its headquarters to Madison Heights is Vimax Media, a food marketing company that produces branded social media food content. Vimax moved 20 jobs into our city and invested $250,000 in extensive remodeling of its 9,000 square foot building. I think we have Michael McGraw and maybe some people from his team from Vimax. Will you stand to be recognized? Another company, this is a big one, moving its headquarters from Wayne County is Edward Duffy & Company, a major supplier of mechanical tubing and piping. The company plans on spending $4.5 million to build a 34,000 square foot building here on Stevenson Highway. This project will create 20 high-paying additional full-time jobs. And with us today, I believe we have Mr. Tom Larson, his wife Christy, and maybe some other team members. Please help me to thank and welcome them. We were shocked to read the news that Walmart acquired Madison Heights-based Moose Jaw, a leading online outdoor retailer, to compete head-to-head with Amazon. More often than not, these type of big mergers result in relocating and downsizing. We were afraid to lose Moose Jaw. Moose Jaw, known for its quirky marketing and edgy outdoor gear, they could have packed their bags and left the state. Instead, Moose Jaw doubled down its investment in Madison Heights with a major expansion, investing over $500,000 and keeping 250 jobs here in Madison Heights. Thank you, Moose Jaw. If our industrial manufacturing sectors are seeing growth, it's only natural that we're having parallel growth in our commercial and retail sectors. The most frequent question that residents and business owners ask me is, what's replacing the former Kmart at 12 Mile? Well, if you've not heard the big secret, it's not that much of a secret. The Nicky Group, Landmark Commercial Real Estate Services, they bought the 40-acre Kmart site to bring in a BJ's Wholesale and a new restaurant with outdoor seating. Construction is occurring as we speak, tearing down the old Kmart, with an investment of $9.2 million. Now, if you've never heard of BJ's Wholesale, it's a wholesale club similar to Costco. And there are over 200 BJ's across 16 states, but here in Madison Heights, we're going to get the first one for the state of Michigan. Corporate executives from Boston met with Linda Williams and the rest of our staff, and they credited Madison Heights' efficient licensing system, and they said it was by far the fastest in the region. BJ's also studied our local market and saw a growing economy that can support even another grocery store. This BJ's location will create hundreds of full-time and part-time jobs, putting many residents of Madison Heights and Hazel Park back to work. Would anyone from the team, the development team, please rise? In the northeast corner of the city, 14 and DeQuinder, in this spring, we're going to have a new Galling Kia dealership to be built there. Millions of dollars of investment. In the northwest corner of the city, 14 and Stevenson, we're going to see construction this spring of the Woodspring Suites Hotel. That alone is a $5.5 million investment and will also bring hundreds of jobs, new jobs, to the city of Madison Heights. And one of my personal friends who I've traveled to China with is Mike Wong, who owns Quadrobot, which is going to be the future of the auto industry here in America and here in China. Mike, who's a graduate of the College of Creative Studies, has designed a self-driving vehicle here in his Madison Heights office. And with any luck, he's going to manufacture those self-driving delivery trucks right here in Madison Heights. Mike, will you stand to be recognized? The largest employer in Madison Heights, do you know who it is? It's Ascension Macomb Oakland Hospital. And they also made a major investment in our city by building the Ascension Michigan Urgent Care. I want to personally thank President Terry Hamilton and all of your team for your continued investment in our city. Would you please rise to be recognized? Last year, you heard me talk about the nearly 200 Asian American owned businesses that call Madison Heights home, and our city's goal to build an identifiable brand around them. We are truly the de facto Chinatown of Metro Detroit. And this year proved it again with increased business activity with Asian American owners. In the past year alone, 2 Asian American summer festivals have decided to relocate to our city, with this summer's Asian Fest expected to attract thousands of tourists to the city of Madison Heights. Now, they're not here today, but I wanted to recognize 2 Asian American business owners that I'm sure you all know, and that's Ricky Dong and his wife Sydney Wong. Ricky and Cindy's can-do spirit and love for the city of Madison Heights have led them to invest in real estate with the goal of creating their own mini Chinatown here in Madison Heights. Some of the properties they own is 168 Asian Mart, the largest Asian grocery store in Michigan. They also own 168 KTV Bistro, which was the number 6th best restaurant in Metro Detroit last year. And they also own a Fuji Buffet, a family-friendly restaurant. But Ricky and their partners, they've been starting to acquire other real estate across the city. They have office space on Ajax Drive. They bought industrial land here in Stevenson, and they have several commercial properties all across Madison Heights. And in a few months, I hope you join us for the grand opening of their highly anticipated Korean barbecue and hot pot restaurant. Hot pot's my favorite food, I can't wait. So clearly the market has created a Madison Heights Chinatown. So I encourage you to celebrate and engage the community. Speaking of celebration, a couple weeks ago, one of our 120 restaurants in our city was given the absolute highest honor from the Detroit Free Press food editor, Mark Kurlianchik. Ima, a Japanese noodle shop owned by Mike Ransom, was named the 2019 Detroit Free Press Restaurant of the Year. Literally, the best restaurant in Metro Detroit is located in Madison Heights. It's amazing. They obviously won the award because they're creative, passionate, and serve really delicious food. But I want to take some of the credit that Madison Heights has built a unique and valuable brand around Asian American owned businesses, and they're perfectly nestled in the center of what could be an uptown Chinatown. The next subject I want to talk about is medical marijuana. If 2018 was a year for the records, 2018 and 2020 is going to surpass that. This year, City Council adopted an ordinance authorizing 14 licenses for professional medical marijuana facilities under the system permitted by state law, the Medical Marijuana Facilities Licensing Act of 2016, which was signed by former Governor Snyder. Madison Heights was already home to medical marijuana caregivers growing plants in their homes for years, but this new ordinance has nothing to do with caregivers. Instead, this ordinance has to do with inviting the larger professional businesses. Our new ordinance made several compromises based on input from residents. First, we will only allow 2 dispensaries in Madison Heights. The other 12 businesses will be nondescript industrial and office uses, including grows, processors, transporters, and scientific testing labs. You won't know they even exist, but for the hundreds of new jobs that they will create. The second compromise was all new businesses must be 500 feet away from a residential district, school, church, or childcare home. And I believe that City Council primarily adopted this ordinance from a place of compassion for the many suffering residents whose doctors recommended this substance for their care. The license application fees alone will pay for any city administrative cost, and we don't foresee public safety issues, and that was by very careful design. Our 200-point scoring system for applicants will weed out the bad actors and inexperienced business owners. Points will be awarded to those businesses with a history and a future plan of charitable giving. And we will give preference to those applicants with a professional license on staff, including physicians, lawyers, or accountants. And we'll also give preference to those applicants spending most of their money on rehabilitating an abandoned or vacant industrial site. And if any of you own industrial real estate within our green map, you may have noticed the surging property values. For example, directly across the street is literally a dangerous condemned industrial building. Formerly, it was worthless, but now it's valued at millions of dollars. Medical marijuana in Madison Heights will benefit the patients. It'll rehabilitate derelict industrial sites. It'll create hundreds of new jobs. It'll pay for itself through fees and increased property values. And I intend on being the mayor 1 year from now to give you a report on our progress. Now we're into year 2 of the 20-year downtown plan, and I'm excited to share some of the early successes we've achieved downtown Madison Heights. Last year, I announced the arrival of Woodpile Barbecue. Its redevelopment of the former VFW post is currently underway and opening in May 2019. Are the owners Brandon and Scott here from Woodpile? Thank you, thank you. I want to recognize Cadillac Straits Brewing Company for being the first microbrewery in our downtown. It is the exact type of cool business that our residents asked for during our town hall discussion. Our owners, Gordon and Gary, are you here to be recognized? Thank you. 2018, the downtown board, they planted trees, they installed wayfinding signs and permanent public art. They organized a student art competition. They hosted the first ever open house at the South End Fire Station, and they aggressively marketed the district's vacant sites. The new excitement and success will continue for the downtown, especially as we focus on beautification and branding. So expect more special events, such as a food truck rally, a multicultural market, and a lot more art. I want to highlight a recent event in downtown, the highly successful Pop-Up Makers exhibition, hosted by Kim and Crosby Clark, the owners of Clark's Fabrication. Will you two rise to be recognized? The event welcomed 15 artists, makers, and collectors and attracted 250 visitors. The event was staged at a vacant strip mall and transformed the space into a temporary art gallery. They raised over $1,000 to be donated to the Madison Heights Art Board to fund an outdoor mural. Kim Clark is also the chairperson of the city's art board and someone that exudes creativity. Because of her unique qualities, I want to do something that I've never done for a State of the City address. So in recognition of Kim Clark's service to the city, I want to present the first ever Mayor's Ingenuity Award. This award shall be given to a dreamer in Madison Heights who wakes up and takes action to build their vision of a better community. Madison Heights calls upon its residents to do, to make, to volunteer, to lead. In the city of progress, progress is an action verb. This award should be given to someone who is not a critic, but a positive thinker, not just present, but takes action. Never behind the times, always moving forward. Kim Clark is an inventor, artist, a business owner, a leader, and is the future of Madison Heights. We need more of Kim Clark. We need more people like Kim Clark. So this year, I present the first Mayor's Ingenuity Award to Kim Clark to give warning to all those in her way, because here comes the future. Kim, will you accept an award? Thanks, Kim. That was somewhat of a surprise to her. I want to say a few words about regional cooperation. Madison Heights and Hazel Park are at the crossroads of 3 counties. 2 interstate highways intersect our communities. We may be small relative to our neighbors. However, if you combine our 2 populations, we would be in the top 25 of the largest cities in the state of Michigan. And what I'm saying is that together, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And that's evidenced by our joint Chamber of Commerce and our joint newspaper. I propose that our 2 cities explore additional ways to work together. I invite department heads from both Hazel Park and Madison Heights to discuss collaborations that will improve services to our residents. I invite both City Council to renew your commitments to regional groups such as the Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, Michigan Municipal League, and others. I ask school, county, and state leaders to propose new ideas to us on working together. It may be as simple as attending your events or painting joint bike lanes up John R. Or it'll be more complex by signing interlocal agreements to eliminate duplication. To underscore my enthusiasm for cooperation, I want to announce another Mayor's Award. This one I will call the Mayor's Cooperation Award. This award goes to someone who has spent years building relationships that benefit Madison Heights. The recipient is Emily Rohrbach. Emily's passion is helping and training women to enter leadership roles, whether they are in government, business, or school. She has helped launch the careers of countless leaders. She gives, gives, gives. She also mentors children to help them explore futures in government by making it relevant to them. Emily has built a network of powerful people that trust her. So please join me in thanking Emily for her unsung service to her community. Emily, will you accept the Mayor's Cooperation Award? All right, I'll switch gears and close up on the mechanics of city government, what you're all here to hear. First, let's discuss public safety. The police department, under the leadership of Chief Corey Haynes, reopened the city's Special Investigation Unit to provide undercover police investigations, the first time in many years. Since opening just 1 month ago, we have already made several arrests, including an internationally infamous human trafficking case. The police department also hired 3 additional officers this past year and renovated the gun range to a state-of-the-art facility that is the envy of other law enforcement agencies in the area. Thank you, Chief Haynes. The fire department hired 2 additional firefighters and was awarded a SAFER grant from the federal government to offset this expense. This has allowed the city to purchase 2 replacement fire engines. Now, reliable equipment and staffing are priorities as our medical calls continue to increase. From 2009 to 2018, our calls for service increased 44%, with over 72% of all calls being medical services. I want to thank Chief Greg Alito for the huge task you and your officers have. During winter, everybody notices the Department of Public Services as they do a great job keeping our streets clear of ice and snow. However, this department is busy 12 months of the year with a variety of activities, including a citywide sewer main cleaning project and a citywide water meter changeout program. DPS also supports the city's road repair and construction programs. DPS secured a grant for funding to replace playground equipment at Wildwood Park. And DPS negotiated the 5-year contract extension for our solid waste contractor, GFL. DPS is the most interactive place in our city government with the residents. And I want to thank the leadership, Corey Almas and Director Joe Vitale Jr. for being the face of our city to our residents. Thank you. This coming year will be busy and exciting as we consider a master plan update, formalize an economic development marketing plan, and develop a citywide branding platform. We will be enhancing our community image through public relations and citizen engagement. We recently applied for membership into the Main Street Oakland program through Oakland County, which will help us create a sense of place. Members of City Council are attending seminars and drafting modern policies in response to the current needs of our residents. For example, Councilor Rosalind Grafstein has attended workshops on placemaking and green initiatives to beautify the city. Councilman Dave Soltis just this week attended a county workshop on planning with several members from our downtown board and Bruce from the planning board. And Mayor Pro Tem Mark Bliss is leading the city through an audit and repurposing of all of our advisory boards and commissions, partly to identify the current need and skills of our residents. Now, despite the individual and collective successes I've highlighted today, we must not forget the families in our two cities struggling with extreme poverty. So I'd like to close with the proposition that our two cities host a joint financial empowerment workshop under the leadership of Oakland County Treasurer Andy Meisner to connect our residents who are facing economic hardship with resources that may lift them towards self-sufficiency. We must summon all of our connections to government, banks, trade schools, and social services to benefit our people who may be struggling. It takes a united community of residents, businesses, and volunteers to lift up our city in order for great things to happen. I'd like to thank all of our residents, businesses, volunteers. The people in our community are what make the city of Madison Heights' future bright. Madison Heights is going places. Join us as we move forward toward the future. Thank you.
Mayor Hartwell, exciting stuff happening. Let's find out what's going on in Hazel Park. I'd like to introduce Mayor Mike Webb.
That's going to be a pretty hard speech to follow up. Last year I had the long-winded speech. This year I think Mayor Hartwell has the long-winded speech. But mine's a little shorter. I do want to say thank you to everyone for coming out and participating this evening. There's a lot of faces I know, a lot of new faces at this event I don't know. And I just want to say thank you again ahead of time. And we'll get started as soon as, ready? Yeah. I'd like to say good morning to this. This is the 2019 State of the City. I'm Mayor Mike Webb of Hazel Park. I am pleased to discuss Hazel Park's accomplishments. First, I want to thank the Chambers of the City of Madison Heights and the Shelving Inc. for hosting this year's event. I want to recognize Madison Heights Mayor Brian Hartwell, the Madison Heights Council, the colleagues, the Hazel Park Council, and all the other elected officials that are here. I want to personally welcome Judge Getter. We don't get to see him very often at these events, and it's nice to see him here again, as well as we have a representative from Andy Levin's office. I'd like to say thank you to Andy, our newly elected congressman, and all his committed service. We also have a couple of people here also as well. Andy Meisner, if you would stand up please for coming out and joining us. And State Representative Robbie Wittenberg. And 2018 was another good year for Hazel Park. The services we continue to provide our residents are outstanding. The businesses and housing in the sectors of our city are still rising. And for these reasons, many others, and many other reasons, we believe that in 2019 we're going to be busier and more of a dynamic year for the future. And I got a little video here we want to show you, and we do have a lot going on, maybe a little more confined, not as spread out as Madison Heights, but they got a ton going on. And I commend Madison Heights, and I also take this moment to answer the Mayor Hartwell's. We will work cooperatively. City Hazel Park, City of Madison Heights will make the future happen. We need to go out and have the outreach programs, and I also like to join him with his dedication to compel, actually, our legislators that are here to help us with the resources to help those needy families and move forward into the future of 2019 and 2020. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm the mayor of Hazel Park, and I'm also the owner of Taylor Auto Maintenance. Being mayor of Hazel Park is a part-time position, but it's also a full-time responsibility. So I want to take some time and share with you what the future of Hazel Park holds. Thank you.
When you ask me what Hazel Park means to me, I have to say Hazel Park means a great deal.
Love Hazel Park because of the commitment that all of the community members really have for each other.
Everyone seems to be hardworking, very civic-minded, and really care about the community that they live in.
So the city of Hazel Park has been something that I have either worked for or volunteered for or volunteered with just for basically my entire adult life.
What brought us to Hazel Park was the city had a personality and an edge to it that fit what we're going for. More personality we're looking for. Hazel Park offered that.
I've been in business since 2004, and we just recently really started to blossom in the last 5 years. So we decided that we kind of needed to pick up and get somewhere where we're accessible, and it's nice because John R. has got a hub with the rest of our people we partner up with and kind of help us through projects. So just made sense, and I really didn't. Hazel Park was kind of my first choice. I just wanted to be in this area, be right connected to Woodward to 75. So it just seemed great.
We are excited to be part of Hazel Park now. We moved from Berkeley into a much larger space as our business grew. We were attracted to Hazel Park because of the emerging art scene here, the active arts council, and younger people moving in to the area, and the interest in making Hazel Park more walkable, more downtown-ish, and all of that is good for our business.
Hi, my name is Ed Klobuchar. I'm the city manager of Hazel Park. I've been the city manager of Hazel Park for the last 17 years. Well, 2018 was an exciting year because we've seen a continuation of Phase 2 of the Tri-County Commerce Center. Phase 1, we landed that in 2015. And at the time, Phase 1, located in the northwest section of the old racetrack property where the old parking lot was, standing today is Tri-County Commerce Center 1. And that facility hosts an Amazon fulfillment center. It hosts Bridgewater Auto Interiors, and it also hosts LG Electronics, where they're going to begin production of the batteries for the brand new Chevrolet Bolt, the fully electric car. those batteries are going to be made here in Hazel Park, and I think that's pretty fantastic. So our relationship with Ashley Capital, the developer of that project, has been very good, and they're now building phase 2. And we look forward to seeing the same kind of tenants in phase 2, which will be larger actually than phase 1. So it's an exciting time to be part of Hazel Park because we've got that big development going on, while at the same time Mabel Gray, remains one of the hottest restaurants in Michigan. Louis Pizza has the best pizza in Michigan. Joe Bar is undergoing a renaissance, and that's now become Latino at Joe Bar. So it's a very exciting time to be part of Hazel Park.
I'm Kayla Roney Smith. I'm the Executive Director of the Hazel Park Promise Zone and College Access Network. The Hazel Park Promise Zone is a place-based scholarship program that was formed in 2012, or started giving scholarships with the class of 2012, and we guarantee a tuition-free path to an associate's degree for any student who graduates from Hazel Park schools and lives in the school district. So any of them, as long as they complete the necessary steps, are able to go to Oakland Community College with full tuition and fees paid for. We were very, very, very excited at the end of 2018 to get some funding to allow us to really evolve our program starting this year. So we hired a full-time success coach in January, and this person will actually be working one-on-one with all of our scholarship recipients and other Hazel Park graduates to help them really figure out what it will take for them to be successful in college or in their trade program or whatever else they might be going into. So helping with financial aid questions, counseling questions, referring to different services, transportation issues, helping overcome really any barrier to success. So I would say the number one thing that Hazel Park should do in 2019 is continue to invest in its students through the Hazel Park Promise. And so we have just expanded our scholarships a little bit, but want to keep doing it even more so that we can offer ultimately a 4-year scholarship to any student who's interested in enrolling in a 4-year university after graduation.
My name is Serene Papakian, and I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation and the Hazel Park Ice Arena. Over 2018, we've had a really great year. We've implemented a tree planting program in Scout Park, and we also installed a new playground structure in Tusky Park. Looking forward to 2019, Hazel Park Recreation will be very, very busy. We have a lot to look forward to. This year, Hazel Park Recreation was awarded a grant by the Sutaric Meyer Foundation. And with that grant, we are being given monies to design a community-led playground. So basically, we will be receiving community input throughout the process, and residents and children will be responsible for designing the play structure in Scout Park, which is really interesting and a great way to get community input. Also, Hazel Park Recreation will be crafting a master plan, a 5-year strategic plan for the Parks and Recreation Department, where residents get community input on what they would like to see for the future of Hazel Park Recreation and what they would like to see in their city parks. I think it's Hazel Park's time to shine. I think Hazel Park is really doing some incredible things, and the residents here are so committed to seeing that Hazel Park flourishes. And I think that Hazel Park is just on the up, and it's really an exciting time to work here.
Thank you. A little bit of a long little speech there from everybody. The testimonials is what I wanted everybody to see from all of our businesses. it's great to have those testimonials come back to us every day, as well as the recreational and all the services we provide. We have a great staff. They're out there every day, putting their life out there. Yeah, they're getting paid, but they're also out there after hours, getting these programs going, keeping them preserved for the future of our kids. And the Promise Zone has always been something that we've started years ago, and it's been growing and growing and growing, and it's been so good for our children in our area and others that come to our schools, is that able to give them 2 years of a head start. How many of us would have liked to have a 2-year head start in college? Huh? That's the greatest thing in the world. But I also want to bring up, y'all saw me in my work gloves, you know, the first thing in the morning, that's what I looked like at 9 o'clock. So they came in with the camera and hit me. Sorry. Our police department does a remarkable job in 2018. Our crime rate is the lowest it's ever been. I'm sorry, I'm not going to speak this. We showed a marked decline in our crime statistics last year. The statistics were, the robberies were down 23%, B&Es were down 37%, destruction of property was down 30%, fraud and retail down 32%. Those are some phenomenal numbers. And that only happens from the commitment, again, from great police work, good staffing, and how we're going to, and people in our community, keeping their eyes open, looking around, reporting crime. It keeps our neighborhoods safe and causes us to have greater value in our communities. Our fire department does an excellent job. We've had over 3,000 calls last year that we responded to. All-time record for our city. I want to take the opportunity to thank the police and fire departments and the chiefs. I have Chief Story here. Superintendent Tom Jones. As well as other department heads here, I'd like to keep going. They do a fabulous job. And the city of Madison Heights mayor also brought up, we need to do a combined effort. And as two cities that have been connected for years, with I-75 cutting down the middle of everything, I believe we got a great opportunity. With the expansion of property values, we can make our two cities combined the strongest impact in southeast Oakland County. You know, the partnerships and organizations inside and outside the city have been critical to our building of Hazel Park's new energy last year especially. We received 2 grants, like she said, our rec department director. Sutar Meyer Foundation grants that we obtained, and the city manager has worked with us very hard. The foundation's given us $350,000 to redesign Scout Park. And we got all of our kids coming up with ideas in our school district. That is part of the grant. They get to come in and input all the information we can. They got their own designers, they're bringing their own team in. They're going to get to design this park. And that's the greatest thing. Having a child in our school, in the junior high, high school, elementary, they're all going to have input. And our designers are going to, the designers they have will take all that collectively, put it all together, and then they will come with us with a whole new design. And I'm excited to see that happen. Because you just don't see that anywhere. People donating $350,000 for a park. I mean, that's phenomenal. Also, the foundation will provide replant trees throughout the whole city to change the canopy of the city, to kind of enhance where we've had to take out some of the diseased trees, of course, like other cities and communities. But they're also going to have some grant money to do that as well. And then we go to, sorry, I'm a speech person, plus I don't have a microphone stand up. Another local company, XL Terra, we talked about it last year. The company is to help ensure these young trees are healthy and can reach their full potential. This is part of their whole program, but they come up with some of the most innovative equipment. And with it's really done a great service for our community, and we're being looked at worldwide because of this company. glue that holds our community together is our residents, really. And then we're all residents of our own communities, and we hold our communities together. Hazel Park is not, ununique, but I think more unique. Our volunteers last year, the Art Council is a group that is dedicated to volunteers that held the success of the 7th Annual Art Fair and October Fair. Our Historical Commission is the volunteers continue to expand an impressive collection of historical items, which is new, down at the Pearl and just off John R. in the Historical Museum of Pearl, just east of John R. Our volunteers continue with the animal control, assisting with 40 adoptions 2018. Our community gardens and the Hazel Park Growers Makers Mark are run by our Hazel Park residents. Thank you to the volunteer work they do as well. Now we can get down to maybe a couple more hard numbers. Our property values continue to rise. Already in 2019, the residential home values rose over 13% in our first period of the 2018 quarter. One of the highest increases in Oakland County. We also welcome in several new businesses, including Severus, a local coffee shop, Young Bloods, you saw on there, a high-end barbershop and apparel store, refurbished Doug's Delight. Everybody remember how Doug's Delight used to be years ago? They come in and redid it all, and it's done. The food is really wonderful. They got a whole different brand and menu, and I think if you haven't tried it, you should come down and at least give it a whirl. Latino at Joe Bar, Color and Ink Art Studios, at the very south end of our city. Color and Ink took a building that another company was in. They bought it, and they redesigned the whole building. You should see it. It's phenomenal what they did, and it's done a great job. And our commitment is to partner with local businesses to keep them involved, keep them aware of what's happening. We don't want to alienate any of our local businesses. We were trying to keep them coming back to us with more information. We want to keep them as informed as possible. And I think that's the key to keeping and maintaining and getting new companies to come into our communities. And if we shut them out, like in the past year, some businesses felt like they were shut out. And they kind of left the city and they go on somewhere else. Or just, I think that's part of it. We need to keep them excited and keep them with us. We all know about the city, Hazel Park Raceway. That's what we were known for the last 70 years. It seemed to be an icon in our county. So it was a landmark. But with the community extremely disappointed in the race, we were really disappointed to see it go. But on the other hand, we're excited to see the new capital improvements of light manufacturing, warehouse buildings, and the current tenants of LG in the first building has done a great service for us so far. New companies and hundreds of jobs, that's what we're looking for. That's our future. Having jobs there to provide to our community and other communities around us to be able to keep us growing and keep us where we can continue to grow. In 2019, we'll also be undertaking several more projects as soon as the weather breaks. The road repairs and the road diet of South John R. and North John R. and 9 Mile roads will be scheduled later this summer. The South John R. will start as soon as the weather hits, I think the way it's going right now, probably May. October 19th, 2019, they said, February 19th, I guess, the spring here. February 19th, we kicked off our master plan. You saw a little bit of that, the Parks and Recs plan. Should be fun, a lot of exciting news, a lot of new things going on. Lastly, I want to thank the work of the City 43rd District Court officers and staffs to strive to improve the quality of life for our residents, and are proud to take a little bit of time here to say thank you for your ingenuity, innovativeness, your commitment to your communities, to our community, and the future of all of us. Without everybody working together, this wouldn't be possible to have a future looking so great as it does. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Webb. Wow, I have never been so proud to be involved in both of these communities. I think that 2019 is going to be a fantastic year. We have one more speaker before we're going to wrap up. Andy Meisner would like to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, and I'm going to be brief. I just wanted to extend greetings from Oakland County and compliments to Mayor Hartwell and Mayor Webb and Robbie, who I saw. Two finer public servants I have not seen. Two people with stronger commitment to their community I haven't seen. And as a former state representative for Hazel Park, I got to know that community and very well. And it is an extraordinary place. Getting to represent Madison Heights at the county has been a great pleasure. I wanted to convey three quick messages. A little bit different. I think that what they said cannot be said any better. But three takeaways. First off, April 1st is the deadline for property tax foreclosure. And so I'm asking everybody here to think about the people in your community. The folks that you know might be going through a tough time. Some of them could have a stack of mail that they've been a little bit too afraid to look at. But if they don't look at it and connect with our office before April 1st, they are at risk of losing their home to property tax foreclosure. And so I urge you to help us connect with those folks. Resources are available. There's a program called Step Forward Michigan. Who's heard of Step Forward Michigan? Everyone should know about it. It will pay up to $30,000 of delinquent taxes for people in Madison Heights or Hazel Park or anywhere across Oakland County. That could be the difference between them losing their home or not losing their home. So that's critical. Second, since this is a Chamber of Commerce, I wanted to mention just two other things related to business finance. Oakland County has got a microloan program. Thanks to the great work of the commission and leadership there, they have microloans that are available for upstart businesses from $5,000 to $50,000. For a company that's just getting started, that could make the difference. And then third, I'm a member of the Oakland County Business Finance Corporation. Who's heard of the Oakland County Business Finance Corporation? Not. Okay, well now you're going to know what it is. The Business Finance Corporation makes SBA loans available to businesses just like this beautiful business in Oakland County. We assist in subsidizing these loans and working with the federal government. But if you know a business that's interested in doing some capital improvements or taking it to the next level, the Oakland County BFC is available to assist you with those services. So thank you for this quick opportunity to share those messages. Please help us prevent foreclosure. And thank you to everyone here for your commitment to two of Oakland County's most fantastic communities. Thank you.
Thank you for that. As we wrap up, I wanted to thank our volunteers who helped make this possible. Valerie Fine and Wonder Woman, Kimberly Heisler, who actually had golf. Thank you for that. As well as Lynn Yono and Lynn Williams. You all got a raffle ticket when you came in, blue ticket. We are going to be raffling off a wine rack. Joe, if you'd like to come up here. I'd like to thank Shelving Inc. for hosting us. They have a fabulous space. You can stick around for a little bit afterwards. Ask an employee to show you the vault. You will be impressed. So we've got this lovely wine rack here, complete with wine. If somebody doesn't want to take the wine, I know I'm all for it. Oh, there's all kinds of wine. Everything from Pinot Grigio to Pinot Noir. There's a Chardonnay. It's really good. And I'm not in this drawing, so that's why I can pick. So the lucky number is, all right, 064038. Anyone? Okay. 064038. I know Serene's like. Who's who? appreciate your support. 2019 is going to be a fantastic year, and we are, as the Chamber of Commerce, thrilled to be a part of it. Have a wonderful day.